Yo, how's it going everyone? It's Anne Skyline and welcome to my channel. So we've blasted through another week and it's another Tuesday reset, the 19th of December, and 5 days left to Christmas. So you've only got 4 days maximum if you haven't, or you still need to get some of those Christmas gifts in. So let's have a look and see what Destiny's got for this week. So the Dawning Festival is in full swing and lots of baking and goodies to be earned. And not forgetting, new to this season, the Dawning Memento, and it actually looks pretty cool. Also this week we have the new exotic quest for the Wishkeeper. It's a strand bow, so we've got that to look forward to. And also it says stars will be our guide through the dreaming city lays hidden within the Black Garden. So look out for that quest, guys. We also have the exotic weekly mission, that is Operation Seraph, on rotation, and the weapons are farmable this week. And we also have the legendary dungeon that is on rotation, and that is the Shattered Throne to look forward to. So moving on, we have the first Grandmaster of the season, and that is the new revamped Lake of Shadows. Okay, moving on to the raid section. The raid for rotation this week. It's the home of the godly Vex Mythoclast, and it is Vault of Glass. Okay, saving the best for last. We have the man himself, and it is Master Crota and the Master Challenge for the week. So let's jump straight in. But before we do, if you're enjoying the content, please could you hit that subscribe button? It's free to do so and it really helps my channel grow. So let's put the pedal to the metal and zoom straight in. So onto the Dawning Festival. We are now in second gear and there is lots happening, lots of baking and lots of rewards. Don't worry if you've not actually started the Dawning Grinders yet, we have plenty of time. We've got to next year basically. Sounds a long way away, but obviously it's not. Each day she has a refresh on her bounties to give you the Dawning. If you haven't started any of the process as yet, come and see Eva Levanti in the tower, and the first thing to do is obviously collect your legendary oven, and she'll ask you to bake a cookie, and you'll be able to from there pick up the quest for your memento. Also she does challenges so that you can pick up some extra rewards, like prisms, cores, modules, shaders. There's a ship, but also you can get the new glaive that comes with the new beacon rounds perk. So final blows cause projectiles and they start tracking onto the enemy. Also, you've got the returning weapons from last year, which is, we've got the Stay Frosty Pulse Rifle, the Avalanche Heavy Machine Gun, we've got the Cold Front Submachine Gun, the Glacio Chasm Fusion Rifle, and the Sepher Sword. It's a stasis sword, but that also comes with a new perk called Cold Steel, that once you do a heavy attack, it freezes the enemy in place. So it is definitely worth having a look at the event this season. If not to get the weapons, to definitely get the memento. Okay, on to the exciting bit for the week. We have a new exotic weapon quest, and it's for the Wishkeeper Strand Bow. This weapon is going to be fully craftable, so that's exciting news. You can actually do different bowstring types. Sadly, it doesn't have adagio, but it has a lot of different strings that you can choose from to help with accuracy, handling, draw time, etc. etc. Also, on the arrow, you can actually change to help with increases accuracy or stability, and the grip type as well, that helps with handling or increases stability. But the most exciting bit out of all of it is going to be the trait pool. So it goes from a level 1 weapon all the way up to a level 10. So, for the first trait, Enduring Snare Refit, the Snare Weaver traps last longer. At level 4, the Multi-Threaded Snare Refit, the Snare Weaver traps can suspend more targets. So maybe the first one is just target related, and the second one, it increases the amount of targets. The next one is at level 7, and that is Vorpal, increased damage against bosses, vehicles, guardians with their super active. The next one at level 10 is the Hatchling Refit. Precision final blows, or rapidly defeating targets with a non-precision weapon spawns a threadling at target's location. So, by the looks of it, this weapon may not be a massive damage hitter, but it's more than likely going to be a support bow for maybe ad control, things like that. So, we'll just have to wait and see. So, let's move on. Okay, up next, we have the weekly exotic rotator mission, and that is Operation Seraph Shield, and this is the home of the exotic revision Zero kinetic pulse rifle, and this is also available to craft on completion of the mission, and there is a few extra perks that have also been added. The legendary weapons that also are available are worth collecting for PvE as well. So here's a list of some of the weapons that are definitely worth either trying to get the pattern or actually trying to get the weapon itself. So you have the Disparity Pulse Rifle. There is a linear heavy that is the Fire and Forget. That is a very good linear for stasis. You have the Achilles SMG in arc with Volt Shot. So if you do craft this and you have enhanced Volt Shot, this works brilliant on any arc build. Also, the Judgment of Kelgoroth Glaive, the Path of Least Resistance. This is an arc trace rifle, and this is another amazing weapon that rolls with Volt Shot. So that one is definitely not to be missed. Also, there is the heavy machine gun, the Retrofit Escapade. It's a Void, and it is also meta for some content still. And also, last but least, you have the Tripwire Canary, and that is an arc bow that you can craft that also has some very good perks for PvE. So remember, this is going to be available for a whole week until the next reset, and it is definitely worth farming the patterns. So moving on to this week's legendary dungeon that is on rotation. It's one of the older dungeons. It's the Shattered Throne. It is a long dungeon with plenty of parkour that takes you to different floor levels. There's enemy obviously on the way between the floors that you can pick off quite easy, and the last boss has very easy mechanics. And all the weapons and armor from the Dreaming City are available, and the armor, the Revelry Dawn, is very nice looking also if you're after the ornament. So moving on to the Grand Master. It is the first Grand Master of the season, and it is Lake of Shadows. So evidently that it has been newly revamped and it has undergone changes in objectives and enemy type. The strike also contains barrier and unstoppables. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I might be wrong here. On previous Grandmasters Lake of Shadows, it was overloads, but I could be wrong. So it is arc threat. Strand and void damage also gives you a 25% increased damage. So good luck in farming that, guys. So on to the favourite part is raid section, and the raid on rotation this week is the Vault of Glass, and that is home of the Vex Mythoclast. It has had a recent buff, and Solar being popular this season means that the weapon is melting its enemy. So with the raid being on rotation, it means that all weapons, including the Vex, are all farmable, including the Time Lost version, which means you can add an adept mod. Out of the Time Lost weapons, I would say the Fatebringer is the go-to, and it's an absolute amazing kinetic hand cannon. So don't forget, these weapons are not craftable as yet, but they are fully farmable. So happy hunting. So moving on to the big man himself, and it's Master Crota. So the challenge this week, it's at the bridge, and the challenge is Precarious Balance. It's an easy section to actually complete, and it is definitely worth farming for that adept weapon. Well, it's definitely a guaranteed drop anyway. So as you know, because it's Master, ads will hit a lot harder, so it's definitely worth having a decent build when you go in, otherwise you're going to have issues with keep dying. Also a heavy machine gun that helps with burning down the barriers, and also it helps if you do get over controlled with the ads on the plate. Strand works really well because you can suspend the barriers if you're struggling a little bit to take them down. But the challenge itself is easy, just get everyone enlightened. So one has a sword, and once it's collected from the gatekeeper and the chalice, they stand on the middle plate. They can run across, and then they advise the next person to stand on the middle plate. Otherwise, if that person gets on the plate too early, it fails the challenge. So a tip I would say is the first person with the sword and the chalice, I would have the chalice person running the tractor cannon and the sword guy to be running Strand, so they're the first two over. So once you've dunked the chalice, you can go across and you can hit the gatekeeper to debuff him for the person to easily take them out with the sword. And then that just means you can, one by one, when the rest of the team come across, you can debuff them, and you can also have ad control by putting Strand. It's like I said, it's an easy challenge. It's definitely worth doing to get that easy adept weapon. So happy hunting with that, guys. Sadly, I've come to the end of the content for this week, and I will speak to you soon. I'll be streaming on Twitch on over the weekend and probably Friday evening, so please come and join me. And also, it will really help me out if you can hit that subscribe button. That helps me for my channel to grow. So have a great week, guys, and happy Christmas shopping. Laters.